Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. A shake and rattle underground on Sunday.
Blasting tends to be pretty small, but rock bursts or other induced earthquakes can get quite large.
A seismic event at Creighton registers on the Richter scale in Sudbury over the weekend. Plus, the legislature resumes with no sign of the Sioux MPP.
You've elected the MPP to do a certain job, and that includes showing up in the legislature and representing your constituency.
He's due in court on Wednesday facing criminal charges. And small communities voice concerns over the OPP bill.
11% is still a lot for municipalities to swallow, especially when it's one of your biggest costs.
They're calling on the province to pick up the tab.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Well, good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. Baseball fever had Canada in its grip tonight, and Northern Ontario was no exception. This was the scene down at Sudbury's Overtime Sports Bar and Grill as the Blue Jays faced off against Seattle in Game 7 of the ALCS. It's been a back-and-forth series for fans, and for much of the night, Toronto found itself trailing. Even still, fans in the room were hopeful.
There's been some great hits. Having a good time after a volleyball game. Yeah, this is a great game.
Not a bad start, but I think they're going to have to get it going here. If they can just put a little bit of pressure on Seattle, I think they got it. They're playing at home. The Jays are at home, so this is where they got to do it.
And a swing and a fly ball to left field. Back goes Arozarena. She's gone!
And that was the home run from George Springer in the bottom of the 7th that gave Toronto the lead. With 2 on, Toronto moved into the lead where they were sitting 4-3 over Seattle.
Here comes the 3-2. He got him!
And breaking news, we can now tell you the Jays have won and are American League champs. That home run would be all they needed. They wrapped it up with a score of 4-3 coming back to take it. They are now on their way to the World Series to take on the LA Dodgers. Go Jays, go. Well, in other news, an earthquake over the weekend, this one in Greater Sudbury. Officials say it's a result of mining activity. CTV's Angela Gemmell has more.
This is where Sunday's earthquake originated from. Vale Base Metals confirms Creighton Mine experienced a seismic event, but didn't say what type of mining work was underway at the time. In a statement, the mining company says all employees are safe and accounted for, and all established protocols were followed. The mine has since been inspected and returned to normal operations. The rumblings were felt across Greater Sudbury at 8:46 p.m. Vale measured the seismic activity at 3.5 magnitude, but Earthquakes Canada lists it at 2.9 on the scale.
The Sudbury area would have been expected to feel some light shaking, probably similar to a low-flying plane or a heavy truck driving by.
Crane says it's the 8th seismic event recorded from Creighton Mine in the past year, adding that the largest ever at the site was a 3.7 magnitude quake in January 2021.
So we do record them quite often, particularly when it's a rather active mine that does cause induced seismicity. We do locate these for our studies as they provide a good source of ground truth events.
Crane says most seismic activity felt around the Sudbury region is almost always connected to mining, with the size or magnitude depending on what work is going on at the time.
Blasting tends to be pretty small, but rock bursts or other induced earthquakes can get quite large.
40 people have already submitted reports to Earthquakes Canada about this most recent event, which Crane says helps officials better understand the impacts of seismic activity. And Vale says anyone with questions can contact its Community Concerns line. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Lively.
Missing from Queen's Park today was Sault Ste. Marie Representative Chris Scott. CTV's Courtney Nordstrom reports.
Queen's Park is open for a new session with Sault Ste. Marie's MPP absent. Chris Scott was arrested last month on assault and assault with a weapon charges, and at the beginning of this month stated he would be taking a leave to deal with his legal matters.
You've elected the MPP to do a certain job, and that includes showing up in the legislature and representing your constituency or the constituency. And if indeed this turns out to be a long hiatus where Mr. Scott does not show up to engage in that representation, in a way he's not doing his job.
Ontario's New Democrats have been vocal in their beliefs that Scott should step down, including the creation of a website titled "Has Chris Scott Resigned?" Tabachnik says that, legal issues aside, there is valid reason for locals to want the Sioux MPP to resign.
It's not so much even that these charges are there against him, which are very serious. It's that he's now sitting as an independent. And that's not, the NDP could argue, that's not what the voters of Sault Ste. Marie went to the ballot for.
If there were a by-election, he expects the now independent candidate would not be successful, something the political science professor believes is likely top of mind in Scott's decision to not call a by-election.
I think it would be pretty tough for Mr. Scott to get elected as an independent in the first place, considering also how close the election was. I think it was some 114 votes he won by. So that in and of itself will be difficult. And then on top of it, the fact that he is under these allegations, it's not a good look.
Scott's first court appearance will be here at the Sault Ste. Marie Courthouse on Wednesday morning. Tabachnik reminds viewers that while the MPP is innocent until proven guilty, a prison sentence longer than 2 years will mean his automatic expulsion from office. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
A few hundred Ontario municipalities are going to be paying more for policing. The cost of provincial police services is rising, and municipalities sounded the alarm over the jump and got the government's attention. CTV's Eric Tashner has more.
Following uproar from municipal leaders over skyrocketing double-digit costs in their Ontario provincial police bills for 2025, the Ministry of the Solicitor General is capping the annual OPP increase.
Our council asked the government to upload, the OPP servicing to the province. We still believe it's under their mandate.
The raise will be limited to 11%, and the threshold for receiving a discount based on call volume will be lowered going forward. That's left local leaders looking at additional tax increases or spending cuts to cover the unexpected expenses.
11% is still a lot for municipalities to swallow, especially when it's one of your biggest costs.
When a new contract boosted police officers' salaries, many municipalities were slapped with bill increases of between 20 and 30%. At the time, Mattawa Council projected a 29% spike or an increase of $125,000.
That would have represented a 7.7% increase on the residents of Mattawa's taxation.
In a statement, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario says the new rate changes do not provide a long-term solution to the growing policing cost pressures towns and municipalities face. Writing, in addition, preliminary analysis suggests that very few municipalities will benefit from the lower threshold levels. The province announced $77 million last fall to help communities address the financial impact of the contract agreement with the OPP Association that was ratified last summer.
The choice of our council with that was to use about half on last year and to tuck half away to try to offset any further increases.
With council starting budget deliberations and with billing statements coming next month, there's a lot for them to think about long term.
It's the affordability and the sustainability that's the issue.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
A coroner's inquest is underway to determine the circumstances surrounding the death of an inmate at the Sudbury jail. 44-year-old Justin Alexander Trudeau of Wikwemkong was found unresponsive in his cell February 13th, 2021. He died just 4 days into his 30-day sentence. While his death was ultimately ruled to be of natural causes, Trudeau was documented as experiencing breathing difficulties and a hand infection in the days prior. The inquest is now examining whether the jail's care protocols and systemic issues played a role, including his Indigenous background. Testimony has pointed specifically to extreme staffing shortages at the time. One person is in hospital after an ATV crash on Manitoulin Island. Around Saturday at 6 p.m., emergency crews were called to the municipality of Central Manitoulin, where a single ATV had crashed. The driver was transported to hospital with life-threatening injuries. There's no word yet on a cause. The province's Special Investigations Unit is looking for witnesses to a collision over the weekend involving a bicycle and a Sudbury police vehicle. Around 9 a.m. on Saturday, a marked cruiser traveling westbound on Lawrence Street and a cyclist traveling northbound on Regent collided. The police cruiser was responding to a call at the time of the crash. The 75-year-old cyclist sustained serious but non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to hospital. SIU is handling the investigation because police were involved. Charges have been laid after an incident at a community event near Massey earlier this month. Police say a youth was injured October 7th and was sent to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Manitoulin OPP and the Anishinaabe Police Service investigated and confirmed today they are charging a 34-year-old Massey woman with criminal negligence in connection to the incident. More on this can be found on our website at CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. Investigators in Windsor say the human remains found Friday near Matheson near Timmins are believed to be linked to the case of a missing 37-year-old Windsor man. CTV's Chris Campbell has the latest on the investigation.
Police say the remains have not yet been formally identified as Paveo's, but their investigation leads them to believe they are connected to the case and are believed to be his. At a media conference on Friday, Staff Sergeant Joe Fadoul of the Windsor Major Crimes Unit described the investigation as one of the most daunting he's ever worked, noting the absence of a body has made charges difficult, but he says investigators believe Mr. Paveo was killed on or around August 14th. Two suspects have already been charged. On October 15th, 54-year-old Shane Laddiser was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and indecent interference with the deceased body. And 49-year-old Marie Christine Hanna was charged with accessory after the fact to murder and indecent interference. Investigators continue searching for a third person known only by the name Colin. He's described as a white male in his late 20s, about 5 foot 10 inches tall, with a rose or flower tattoo on the back of his hand. He is known to frequent Windsor's West End and downtown areas. Police say they believe the homicide took place at a home at 1057 Felix Avenue in Windsor. The property remains under forensic examination. As for the scene in Northern Ontario, the OPP conducted a search in a wooded area north of Kirkland Lake in response to leads that developed during the investigation in Windsor. Investigators were not available to provide an interview today, but the case remains very active and police say the public's help is crucial. Anyone with information is asked to contact Windsor's Major Crimes Unit or anonymously through Windsor and Essex County Crime Stoppers.
Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the current conditions, and it is a lot cooler, and it is going to be another cool one tomorrow compared to where we've been the last few days. 5 degrees in Sudbury, only 1 in Kapuskasing and up in Timmins, 8 in Wawa, 10 down in Sault Ste. Marie. We'll have details coming up after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Welcome back. We've got some precipitation returning to northeastern Ontario after experiencing no less than 3 days of rain, showers, drizzle. This is what we've got going now. By about noon tomorrow, this will hover over the northeast. It'll begin in some areas this evening into the overnight and continue for the next couple of days. That purplish configuration, that would be snow, by the way, more northern areas north of Kapuskasing and close to Moosonee. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast now. Sudbury Nickel Belt, we've got rain and 8 tomorrow, chance of showers Wednesday at 10. So we've got some sleet in the forecast Thursday, Friday, temperatures 5 and 7. So that's showers and flurries. Nice mix there. 40%, 30%. Saturday, Sunday, sun and clouds 7 and 10 as the weather improves. Again, those temperatures. Normally at this time of the year, you should be at 8. Sault Ste. Marie Algoma, rain tomorrow at 10. Chance of showers Wednesday at 8. Sleet Thursday, Friday, 7 and 10. The daytime highs 10 and 12 on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday with the sun and cloud. In Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, chance of showers tomorrow at 40%, daytime high of 8. 8 again on Wednesday, chance of showers. Thursday, Friday, 60% chance of sleet, 40% chance of sleet. Your highs around 5. Take a look at the evening lows, 0 and -2. Saturday, some cloud cover. Sunday, sun and cloud. Your daytime highs around 5 and 9, but lows of 0 both nights. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, rain and the chance of showers Tuesday, Wednesday at 9. Thursday, Friday, well, chance of sleet, showers, flurries, 6 both days. And again, at 60%, that's a pretty good bet. Saturday, some cloud cover, 5. 8 degrees on Sunday with the sun and cloud. Normally, you should be sitting at around 8 degrees, so that's a good bet come Sunday. And in North Bay, West Nipissing, rain and 12 tomorrow. Chance of showers on Wednesday at 11. We've got 2 days, the chance of sleet, 60% both days, 5 and 8. And again, the overnight lows 0 and only 1. Saturday, Sunday, sun and clouds, 7 and 8, your daytime highs. And again, you should be sitting at around 9 degrees for this time of the year. So Ian Campbell, you know it's coming, that dirty 5-letter word, sleet. Chance of showers, chance of snow flurries, and some colder temperatures all approaching the north by about midweek. Back to you.
That doesn't sound fun at all. Thanks, Rick. Well, results from a business confidence survey in Timmins are in. While the majority of respondents are optimistic about the next 12 months, a labor shortage is one of the main concerns. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
Despite challenges like rising...
The Timmins Chamber of Commerce launched Small Business Week today at Chow Sandwich, a small eatery in the downtown. About a year ago, the owners say they took a chance by trying something new, offering Italian sandwiches on freshly baked focaccia.
The response has been really good, and it just kind of proves that, you know, if you put a lot of love and work into something, that it will be well accepted by the community.
They're not the only owners who are confident about their operations. Results from the Chamber's 2025 Business Confidence Survey reveal of the 55 respondents, most of them are optimistic about their own operations. However, less than half trust the local economy and even fewer trust the national economy.
I think the important fact here is that 74% of the businesses surveyed said that they're confident in their business and growth in the next 12 months. So I think that's an important statistic out of this entire survey.
There's lots of businesses obviously in the downtown here, so we're able to service those people who are downtown looking for snacks and drinks every day.
One recurring challenge survey respondents indicated is the high number of job applicants who lack necessary skills and experience. 64% said workforce availability continues to be the most significant challenge. In an effort to overcome that, the Chamber says it's created a new position to help bridge the gap between education and industry.
So that's a pilot project for the upcoming 2 years. So we're really looking to work alongside industry as well as education to bring that closer in terms of what skill sets are required and to encourage the younger generation as well to look towards the future as to what programs and what careers are in high demand.
Nearly 42% of survey respondents also cited crime as a major concern, citing theft, vandalism, and safety as ongoing barriers to customer traffic and staff security. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Sault Ste. Marie Pianist is about to take her talent south to Brazil. There's something special about the way Andréane Deschênes tickles the ivories. Music is in her blood. She's given live performances, released albums, and even teaches. It's clear playing is her passion.
There's pieces that are faster and more showy, and there's pieces that are slower and kind of, you know, simpler, and there's a lot of ebbs and flows in this.
But there's a draw for her to Latin music. She commissioned 7 composers, 6 of them Brazilian, to write pieces for her 2024 album Wanderings.
There's something about the way music is taught and played and consumed down there that is very different than I think what we do here in North America.
It's that flavor that helped her capture the eye of conference organizers in Brazil. Deschênes has been invited to participate in the 9th International Meeting of Contemporary Piano. The topic of the conference is music and women.
I think it's important to talk about, you know, how things have not really changed, and despite society becoming better in certain ways when it comes to women in, you know, more male-dominated field or how we view women in professional settings, I think that there's a lot, you know, of work to still be done.
To play in Brazil is a full circle moment. Her exploration with Latin American composers began with her master's in Afro-Latin music. A teacher introduced her to the repertoire and she took it from there. She leaves on Wednesday and will be there for 12 days. She'll also give some performances in cities like Sao Paulo and Natal.
I can't even think about what's happening next. If anybody has any ideas for me, I'm all ears, because I think I'm just gonna, you know, take a break for a second and see what happens next.
Wherever she goes, it's not hard to believe it'll be somewhere near a piano. And if you're looking to catch Deschênes live, you're in luck. She has a performance scheduled for November 14th at the Loft in Sault Ste. Marie entitled Back from Brazil. Still ahead tonight on CTV News. The town of Bonfield is getting ready for a little bump in the night. More on the Halloween parade after this. The township of Bonfield is gearing up for a parade this weekend all about the spooky season. The Bonfield Halloween Parade will start at the corner of Gagnon Street and Development Road, now in its 6th year. The event was originally created to bring the community together during the pandemic. Organizers say floats and donations are needed this year.
People are feeling the crunch a little bit more with their families and you know, not able to donate as much as they have been in the past, and that's totally understandable. Obviously, got to take care of their families first, and then I think the postal strike hurt us a little bit for some of our bigger donors as well. So we're a little bit behind in what we were last year, but I'm sure the event's still going to be amazing.
The parade starts at 6:30 p.m. this Saturday. The Nightmare on St. Mary is returning to Sudbury for a 6th year, run by the First Valley Baden-Powell Scouting Association. And today they're bringing more than just fright. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
In the Hammer Valley Shopping Center, Nightmare on St. Mary Street set up around 45 animatronics in hopes of raising money for the Scouts during the spooky season.
This fundraiser basically funds all their adventures. They go on camps with this. We've got a big jamboree coming up next summer down south that we have to bring the kids to. That's going to cost a lot of money, so this helps fund all their adventures that they do throughout the year.
This PA Day, Nightmare on St. Mary Street is turning on the lights and clearing the walkways in hopes of creating a less scary and more accessible experience.
There's other people that are doing haunted houses throughout the city, and I think it's important for everybody to be able to experience Halloween.
Today is about including everybody so that everyone can go through the haunt.
It was pretty fun, like really interesting, and I love it. It was like nice in there, a little spooky, and it's pretty much fun.
Segay's belief that Halloween is for anyone is also shared by Treat Accessibly.
We have a goal by 2030 of having over 1 million homes treating accessibly, and the action that we're seeing from communities like the Scout Group out there who are doing this for their community, for their friends, for their family, for their loved ones, is just one example of what's happening across the country.
Padulo said everyone can make Halloween more accessible by making a few small changes.
We've created a movement where the infrastructure is so available to any home. Any home can treat accessibly by simply removing barriers by going to the end of their driveway, having their treat station there.
According to Segay, the Nightmare on St. Mary Street is hoping to have another accessible day, proving that Padulo's hope of making Halloween the first accessible holiday isn't too scary. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Hanmer.
2 northern communities received high honors Saturday at the annual Communities in Bloom Awards ceremony in Stratford. The Greater Sudbury community of Capreel won a silver rating this year in the national population up to 5,000 category for its stunning gardens. Communities in Bloom judges got to soak in Capreel's beautification when they were in town back in August. Capreel also took home the Heritage Conservation Award. And the city of North Bay won a bronze rating in the national population over 50,000 category. Back in July, the judges said community involvement was high in North Bay, noting people were actively keeping their city clean. Gorgeous. And millions of people around the world and across Canada are celebrating Diwali tonight. The annual Festival of Lights is one of the most significant dates in Hinduism. A record 2.6 million lamps were lit along the banks of the Sarayu River, India, to mark the festival, which is held over 5 days. Well, a happy Diwali to you if you are celebrating. For the rest of us, that takes us to the end of our newscast this Monday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.